Many people learn chess and they know how the pieces move, but they have no idea how to start the game. A chess game is divided into 3 phases. First one is opening, second one is middle game, and the third one is end game. But it does not necessarily mean that a game will end in the end game. It can be over even in the opening phase. So when you just have learned chess, you surely do not need to learn opening theory, but you should be aware of the opening principles so that you do not at least lose in the opening phase. And by losing, I do not mean a checkmate, but also not losing material. Many beginners who start at 200-300 ELO, their openings look like this. That is a good move, but in response black plays g5, knight c3, a good opening move, but bishop h6, knight f3, g4, attacking the knight. At this point one thing is clear, white player has watched some video that he should open with the central pawn, he should develop pieces, but black has no idea what is the purpose of the opening, how he should play. 3 moves and he has just pushed this flank pawn and developed his bishop in a weird place. And this is a real game from chess.com. Knight e5, d6, again attacking the knight, knight goes back, and now queen d7. Instead of developing the bishop somewhere, he blocks the bishop, not developing any pieces, not castling. So this is a very poor opening strategy. Instead, how you should be playing an opening. So in this video, I will share 3 opening principles that I personally followed until I crossed 1000 ELO. Right now I play around 1900 rating, but still I know only 2 to 3 openings and I do not know their theory. I just watched 2 to 3 videos about them after I crossed 1000 rating. Below 1000, I used to follow only these 3 principles, and you can do the same. So the first opening principle is to control the center. The first move you should play is push any of these 2 pawns in the center. For example, you can play e4. With this move, you are controlling these 2 squares. And here black can also respond with e5, controlling a central square, and f4. Other popular options for black can be e6, c6, d6, and all of these control some of the central squares. But why controlling the center is very important? Suppose black does not know the importance of controlling the center and he plays something like a6. In such cases, you can go ahead and place the second pawn as well in the center, and now you are controlling all these squares. Black continues with absurd moves like this, and now what have you achieved and what has black achieved? You can notice that at this point black has freed up these 2 squares for the rooks, and only pieces that from the black camp can move are the knights, which could move even before these pawn moves. But for the white, not only these knights can move, but white queen and the bishops are ready to develop. So after h6, suppose you play knight to f3, which again controls 2 central squares, and now only after 3 moves you have so much control of the center, but black, it has none. So black finally realizes and tries to play knight to f6. And now what is the downside of it? If black had played at some point this move d5, we could not have pushed this pawn, and if he had played e5 in the first response to e4, we could not have played the d4 in the first place. So now we can simply go ahead and attack the knight. At this point, the best move for the black is to go back, and you can notice that black has made 0 progress. But beginners will not go back. Most probably they will try to go forward. But this knight, it cannot go anywhere. It cannot jump to these squares because our knight is already controlling them. He can only jump to these 2 squares. For example, if he goes there, now you can attack the knight one more time, and you can notice that this knight has no more squares where it can land without any trouble. If it goes back here, you can simply capture it. If it comes here, the bishop captures it. If it jumps into this place, any of pawn can capture it. The same story will be for the other knight as well. If it tries to jump in, you can simply push it and he has to go back, which means 0 progress. And if it goes here, you can attack the knight and the knight is trapped. And if it goes here, you can attack it one more time. Now it cannot go back and cannot come to any of these squares. Only square is left. This, we have gained so much space and our pieces are ready to develop, and we can even push it one more time and we can attack the knight, and most probably you can win the black knight, or it will be in a very ugly position after moves like this. You attack the knight, knight goes back, you again attack the knight, black captures back, and now this very dangerous diagonal is open. You can bring the bishop here and you can start an attack for a checkmate. So you can avoid all this drama if you simply follow the opening principles that you also fight for the center. Play simple chess. At this point, just play simple moves. The first thing is open with the central pawns and control the center. In the opening, you should try to push these 2 pawns or the c pawn. What you should not push especially is this f and g pawn. Some people do play this move g3 and fianchetto their bishop. That is also good, but you can even keep it simple by playing in the center. but never push these f pawns. f6 and f7 are the weakest squares and you should always try to keep these pawns here. So following on these pawn moves and controlling the center, the second principle is developing your pieces. So how should you develop the pieces? You should not only try to control the center with your pawns, but you have to develop your pieces in a way that they control the center. First of all, you should try to develop your minor pieces. The best square for the knight is to f3. It is not to h3 where it does not control the center, or it is not to e2 where it blocks its own bishop. f3 is best because here it is controlling two central squares. Suppose black doesn't know that he also should be developing pieces. Although the best move for him is to develop his knight, which controls the center and also defends this pawn, but black plays d6. This is not a terrible move at this point of the game, but clearly it is not the best. First thing is that now this knight is not developed. Second thing is that it is blocking its own bishop, and now instead of where this bishop is controlling such an important square, this bishop will be forced to do a passive job. So knights should come here and the bishops, they should be here. Best square is c4 because it is eyeing down this f7 weak square. So black is not aware of where the pieces should be placed and he plays knight to a6. Now compare these two knights. This white knight, it is controlling 8 squares. On the other hand, this black knight is controlling only 4. Or black would play this move, which is also bad because it blocks its own bishop. Black should have tried to develop his bishop. You develop the second knight. Suppose here black plays again this absurd move, blocking his own bishop. Now you will see the importance of developing the pieces to the right squares and what is the issue with not developing them to the right squares. Here this bishop is already attacking this f7 and you can bring another attacker which attacks the f7. If this knight was not in the way, black would have played this best move to cut off this bishop from the f7 square. But now we can simply win a pawn and we are threatening to push this, again attacking here, and black will have a very hard time defending this and developing his pieces and securing his king. But even this move, I do not think a beginner will find it. Many times they will try to attack the knight, and here you can first of all play this move, bringing your knight to this square or this square. This queen is trapped, black is going to lose it. There is another even better move, try to find it. It is bishop f7 checkmate because black cannot capture it. Bishop is defended by the knight. If you found it, that is great. So this is why you should develop your pieces to the right squares. In a perfect world, it can look like this. After e4, black can push e5. You play knight f3. Black develops the knight, also defends the pawn. You develop your bishop. He develops his bishop. You develop the knight. He develops the knight. And here you can push d3, opening up this bishop, and he can play d6 to open up his bishop. And both of you are ready to castle and secure your kings. You castle, black castles, develop the bishops, centralize the rooks, and this is how you can develop your pieces. And after such kind of development, you will not have any kind of weakness in your camp. Nothing is hanging, this knight is protected, this bishop is protected, every pawn is protected. So this is the goal of the opening. Your pieces should be on good squares, controlling the center, centralize the rooks. So other than developing the pieces, the third important thing is securing your king. The goal of opening is to secure your king as soon as possible. You can castle on any side, king side, queen side. What you need to castle is to free up the space on the side where you want to castle. The best approach is to castle short side on the king side, but if you want to castle long side, make sure that you do not push these pawns. Wherever you castle, you should have such kind of wall that is protecting the king. So same thing, develop your pieces, free up the space, and castle as soon as possible. And here you want to mention another point. It is not only that you should focus on castling as soon as possible. King safety also means that you should not weaken your king by playing moves like f3, f6. This is the most terrible move to play in the opening. If you are going to castle short side, you should not push these two pawns at all. Sometimes you can push h3, which stops this bishop from coming here and pinning your knight, and also it creates a free square from where your king can run in case of any back rank checkmates. So as white, you can push h3, as black you can push h6, but you shouldn't be pushing these pawns. Why you should castle as soon as possible? Because if your king is stuck in the center, it is very easy to attack. For example, in this position, white has already castled and his king is very secure and very difficult to attack, but somehow black's king is stuck in the center. It is white to move, and white can centralize his rook and give this check to the king. Here black cannot castle because first of all you cannot castle while you are in a check. Secondly, you cannot move here because this bishop is already blocking it. So the only move for you is to give up your queen. White can go ahead and take the queen. Black king cannot capture it back because bishop is defending it. Even better move for the white was to give a check with the queen to e1 or e2. and when queen blocks it, you give this checkmate, king cannot capture it. So if e-files where your king is placed gets opened and your opponent can somehow stop you from castling, you will be in a lot of trouble. So these are the 3 golden principles that almost every instructor will tell you. For any beginner without learning any kind of opening theory, these 3 are the golden principles for the opening phase. And after this there is the middle game, in which you should follow some common middle game plans when you are in the beginners category, and about that I will make another video. And if you follow these principles and those middle game plans, you will soon find yourself above the beginning category and you can easily cross 800-1000 rating, which is average right now on chess.com. So if you cross 1000, you will already be above 60-70% of the chess community. So that was all for today. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.